The smell of freshly turned earth is suffocating me. I can't see them, but every time I move, I feel them. There are bones down here. I can't breathe. It's like the air isn't air, but something trapped inside the soil. Something that no longer belongs to me. I hear murmurs passing through the ground. I don't understand what they're saying, but I know what they mean. They don't come from outside, but they don't come from me either. They're just there, like the earth is holding them. It's not death that scares me. It's staying here, listening to them. My family doesn't keep secrets. They bury them. And today, they buried me. And before I die, I'm going to tell you how I ended up here. No matter how hard I try to dig through the soil with my hands, I can't. No matter how hard I try to push myself up with my legs, they don't respond. I can't breathe. How much time do I have left?
How do you call yourself?
The voice isn't mine, but it comes from right here. Who said that? Is there someone else here? Hello?
Robert.
Robert? Where have I heard that name? It's not that I don't care, but there's something worse. If I stop moving, I feel things. There are bones down here. Help. I try to scream, but only a dry whisper escapes. Each breath is shorter than the last. It's like trying to fill my lungs with dirt while something inside keeps emptying them at the same time. If I keep going like this, I won't get out. But that's not what scares me the most. Something is wrong with me. I feel like I'm missing a part, like something was torn out of me and the rest was left still running. Like an incomplete memory, repeating without understanding itself. Like this has already happened before. No. That doesn't make sense. This just happened, right? I hear footsteps above. They don't sound rushed. They don't sound worried. They sound normal, like footsteps that are no longer looking for anyone because they already know where I am. As if there is no one down here, or worse, as if they already know I'm here and don't care. How did I end up here? A moment ago, everything was normal, I think. We were at the table. Yes, at the table. The food was served, as always. No one spoke, but that wasn't strange. In my family, silence was always normal. I think. I remember I tried to say something, anything, but no one answered. They didn't even look at me, as if I wasn't there. I don't understand why. I did nothing wrong, I think. My hand hit the table. Not hard, just to get their attention. The sound was louder than I expected, as if something inside me had already been building up and was just looking for somewhere to fall. And then everyone froze. Too still. My wife didn't look up, but I saw her hands, They were shaking. Why were they shaking? I did nothing. My son, I think it was my son, stood up from the table without saying a word. He didn't even look at me, as if he already knew something, as if everyone knew something, except me. I don't understand. I remember getting angry. I don't know why, but I remember the anger, that heat in my chest, that pressure, like a liquid rising without control until you realize it's already consuming you. As if everyone was overreacting, as if they were provoking me. I did nothing, right? I remember a glass on the floor. I don't know when it fell. I don't know if I dropped it, but it was broken. And there was something else, a smell, sweet, strangely pleasant. It didn't make sense. It shouldn't smell like that. But for a second, it made me feel calm, like things you know are wrong, but in the moment, they somehow quiet everything. Why? I also remember a door slamming shut, very hard. I don't know why. They always do that. They always overreact. Always? No, that doesn't matter. I remember someone saying something. I don't know who, but I heard it. Enough is enough. Enough of what? Then, silence. That silence wasn't normal. It was different. Heavy. Like when the air stops moving because something has already decided to break. My wife looked at me and saw me, but not like before. It wasn't fear. It wasn't anger. It was as if she already knew what was going to happen, as if she had already accepted it. I don't understand. If everything was normal, why did they all look like that? No, it wasn't just the glass. There was something more, something I didn't want to see at the time. I think I stood up from the table. Yes, I stood up. I remember the sound of the chair dragging. Loud. Too loud. Like something inside you already coming apart, needing just a little push to break. But no one said anything. No one stopped me. That's the strange part. They always say something. They always react. But not this time. As if they were waiting. Waiting for what? I remember walking toward the kitchen, or maybe toward the door. I'm not sure. Everything feels blurry, like nights that start clear and dissolve into something you don't want to remember. But there's something I do remember. The looks. They weren't normal. They weren't afraid. They were in agreement, as if they all agreed on something. And I wasn't included. I don't understand. I did nothing wrong. I remember a voice. I don't know whose, but it said, "No more." No more what? Why do they talk like this has already happened before? Something else is wrong. Something doesn't fit. The smell. That same smell. Sweet. I felt it again. But this time, it wasn't coming from the glass. It was coming from me. As if something had spilled from inside me and I was only just noticing it. No, that doesn't make sense. It can't come from me, right? I remember someone standing up, then another, then all of them. But no one screamed. No one ran. It was too calm. Like a silence that doesn't calm you, but prepares something. Like everything stops resisting because it is already decided. That's what I don't understand. Why were they so calm? If I did nothing, why didn't anyone stop me? Or why didn't anyone help me? No, they weren't calm. They had already decided. I remember stepping back, just one step, as if my body understood before I did. I didn't say anything. I didn't ask anything. But something was wrong. Someone came closer. I didn't see who first. I just felt the hand on my arm. Firm. Too firm. Calm down. That's what they said. Calm down. I wasn't doing anything. Why? Another hand, on the other arm, then another. It didn't hurt. That's the worst part. It didn't hurt. I just couldn't move. Like anger rising slowly until suddenly you're already drowning in it without realizing. It's over. What's over? I don't understand. I tried to speak. I think I did, but I don't remember anyone answering. I remember the ground, cold, very cold, my face against it, the smell again, stronger, much stronger, sweet, like something that deceives you first and then burns you from inside. And then something in my head shut off. Not everything, just enough, like a light flickering before darkness stays. I remember thinking, this can't be happening. But no one was listening. No one was seeing me, as if it no longer mattered, as if I was no longer part of them. And then, the dirt. Not at first, not all at once. First the sound, falling, close. Then, on top, heavy, like everything I never wanted to carry, but always ended up dropping onto someone else. I tried to move. I tried to scream, but it was too late. I don't understand. I did nothing, right? There's something strange about memory. It doesn't disappear. It learns to hide. It bends, adjusts, becomes bearable. Until it stops being truth and becomes what you need to believe. I always thought the silence in my home was theirs, that they were the ones who didn't know how to speak. But now I'm starting to understand something. The silence was to survive me. Some things aren't said because saying them makes them real. And others are repeated so often they stop feeling wrong, as if they were normal, as if they didn't hurt. I think I got used to that, to not listening, to not seeing, to not stopping. It's strange how you can remember the noise, but not the reason. The impact, but not the cause. The ending, but not the beginning. And still believe you're right. I don't remember what I said that night, but I remember their faces. And they weren't afraid. They were something worse. They were decided. It wasn't an impulse. It wasn't an accident. It was the end of something. Something I refused to see when it began. Maybe secrets aren't always buried out of shame. Sometimes they are buried so they don't come back.
No, I'm not running out of time.
That's what I didn't understand. I'm not dying. This already happened. The air isn't running out. There was never any air. That's why nothing changes. That's why nothing improves. That's why nothing ends. I'm not trapped under the ground. I'm trapped in the moment. In the last instant where everything ended, and I refused to understand it. Now I feel it. Not the weight of the earth, the weight of everything else. Every look, every silence, every time someone said nothing because they no longer could. It wasn't one day. It wasn't an accident. It built up. Like anger. Like alcohol. Like everything you repeat until it becomes part of you. And now it stays here with me. The anger didn't leave. It keeps rising, slow, constant, as if it never had a bottom. I'm full of it, of rage, of something that doesn't turn off, as if they buried me but left the worst part alive. Sometimes I hear footsteps above me. They don't run, they don't search, they just pass. And sometimes they stop, right above, as if they knew, as if they remembered, as if they were looking at the place where they buried their nightmare, their secret. Some days they sound different, lighter, calmer, as if something ended for them, as if they can breathe again, as if they even celebrate. And I stay here, feeling the same thing, repeating the same thing, with the same thirst, that thirst that was never for water, that always wanted more and was never enough. And I don't know if anyone remembers me. Will I hear generations pass above me? Will I hear their lives, their voices, without anyone knowing who I was? Or will they know that down here they buried a monster? What's worse, to disappear into oblivion, or to stay here forever as an echo of what I was, of anger, of violence, of something that never knew how to stop. Was the weight of my drunken hand lighter than the weight of carrying this my whole life? In this exact moment, I remember everything. I remember what I was and why I am here. I remember the addiction. I remember the anger. I remember the silence and the resentment filling every space. I remember why no one spoke. I remember why they looked at me like that. I remember these bones are mine. Sorry. And still, there is something I can't remember. I try to reach it with everything I have left. I try to hold it, but it slips away, as if my own mind doesn't want me to have it. How do you call yourself? Who said that? The voice isn't mine, but it comes from right here. Is there someone else here? I don't know whose voice that is, but I don't care, because finally, I remember.
Robert.
I say it out loud.
Robert.
And I think that is my name.